documents to be filed, the mandate, certification of documents for South African documents and for international documents. So that's a jam-packed agenda presentation today. Who really owns the business? Beneficial ownership is not just about names on a paper, but rather about beneficial owners behind the screen. These are the people who truly control the business and benefits from its profits. Who can be declared as a beneficial owner? Majority shareholder, people that own a large portion of the company, even through another company or trust. Ultimate decision makers, people who control the company's actions, even if they are not directors. Trust beneficiaries, people who benefit from a trust that owns the company. Silent partners, investors that are not publicly involved but still profit from the business. Annual BO filing. Do you still need to file BO information if nothing changed during the year? Businesses must file BO information every year, whether there were changes or not. Yearly BO updates assist CIBC to confirm that your BO details are still valid and correct. Beneficial ownership must be submitted before you do your annual returns filing. Now, companies categories. Affected company. Company classified as an affected company, whether they have beneficial ownerships to declare or not, must upload mandatory documentation, but no BO information is submitted. Non-affected companies with beneficial ownerships, companies that is not classified as an affected company and have beneficial ownerships to declare, standard BO register requirements apply. Non-affected company without beneficial ownership informations, companies not classified as an affected company with zero beneficial owners, mandatory documents must be uploaded. What is an affected company? Affected company means a regulated company as set out in section 107, subsection 1, subsection 1, and companies to which affected transactions and offers and the takeover regulations apply, as determined in accordance with section 108, subsection 1 and 2. An affected company includes a public company, whether listed or unlisted, a state-owned company, a private company in terms of the transfer of securities when exceeding the percentage prescribed by the minister, which is 10%, within a 24-month period. A private company that is controlled by an affected company, control or exercise the majority of the voting rights, the right to appoint or control the appointment of directors, who controlled majority voting rights at boards meetings, or is a subsidiary majority owned of an affected company. Determine the company's category. Step 1. So, how do we select the correct category? One must apply the definition as a type of checklist or follow step 2. Now, step 1, determine the category. To determine whether it is an affected company or not, answer yes or no to the following questions. Is the company a public company? Is the company a state-owned company? Did the private company transfer more than 10% of its securities within the 24 months before the declaration? Is the private company majority owned or controlled by an affected company? Is the private company a subsidiary of an affected company? If the answer to any one of the above questions is yes, then the declaring company is an affected company. If the answer to all the questions above is no, then the company is a non-affected company. Okay, that's in a nutshell. Step 2. One has to establish whether the company has any beneficial owners by answering the following questions. Does one person hold securities for the beneficial interest of another natural person? Is there a person who exercises or have control over more than 5% of the voting rights in the company? Is there a person with the right to appoint and remove directors of the company? Is there a person that have the ability to materially influence the management of the declaring company? So if you are able to answer these 4 questions, you will be able to determine the category. Now, if any of the above questions is yes, then the applicant category is non-affected with beneficial ownership. If the answer to all the above question is no, then the applicable category is non-affected without beneficial ownership. Okay? So if your answer is yes, it's non-affected with beneficial ownership. If your answers are no, then it's non-affected without beneficial ownership. Okay? Please make use of the legislative definition of beneficial ownership and affected companies, as well as the CIPC step-by-step user guides, which provides a breakdown of each type of company as they will guide you on the required information to be filed. Take note that each company type has its own required documentation for uploading. Documents required to be filed. Affected companies with or without BO. Documents required are a declaration, mandate is mandatory. The mandate must be signed by 50% plus one of the company's director or 100% of the members in CC. Certified ID copy of the filler and captured beneficial owners. The filing of a beneficial interest register is mandatory. Documents required to be filed. Affected companies with or without BO. No beneficial ownership is declared on the functionality itself. Filing a declaration or mandate is mandatory. Certified ID copy of the filer. The filing of a beneficial interest register is mandatory. What is the mandate that must be submitted? A compulsory document within the declaring company instructs the filer, which is a natural person, to submit its beneficial ownership declaration on behalf of the company. The contents of this mandate. A mandate must be in the form of a letter, a resolution, or a power of attorney. On a declaring company letterhead, no company logo is required. So you can do it on your company's letterhead or without a company's letterhead. Mandate is given to an individual, that's a natural person. It must be signed by 50% plus one of the company director or all CC members. Certification requirements for documents. This is the Practice Note 2 of 2022. Certification of documents, including ID documents filed with the CIPC, may not be older than 3 calendar months. The Commissioner of Oaths certifying or affirming any documentation must state the date of certification. Only one ID or passport may appear on a single page. And in the case of a South African ID card, both sides has to be scanned in on the same page. Only valid issued passports will be accepted. No asylum seekers, temporary residents, documents will be accepted as valid confirmation of identity. Certification requirements for documents. South African certified documents. The following information of Commissioner of Oaths must appear on the documents: full name and surname, business address, signature, designation. The documents certified by the police official also needs to indicate the person's rank and rank number and the date of certification. The above information is required to ensure that the Commissioner of Oath is traceable for accountability purpose. CIPC will only accept documents that have been commissioned by a Commissioner of Oaths in South Africa. Certification requirements for documents. Also Practice Note 2 of 2022. International certified documents. If a person is based in another country and has to submit documents to CIPC, a certificate of authenticity needs to be accompanying those documents to confirm authenticity. A notary public is an internationally recognized form of certification or affirmation of the documents, and the CIPC will accept both South African and international notary public certifications. A notary public certified document must be accompanied by a notary public certification seal and or a certificate. Well, that brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope that was informative for you and you now understand what documentations is required from you. Thank you all for joining us today. We truly appreciate the time you have taken. Just remember the Learn IBIS program. Please feel free to explore it yourself and share with anyone who may benefit. The questions have been answered on our portal. We have Loretta Klassen that has been assisting us and Veronica van Dijk who has been answering the questions. Thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye.